Hope you're well. Welcome to episode number 11 of Average Beer Dude TV. I'm Chris. I'm Average Beer Dude. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. Really looking forward to diving into this one today. This one is Alvarado Street's One Giant Leap. It is a triple IPA. As far as I know, this could be one of the first triple IPAs that Alvarado Street has ever done. I'm really looking forward to trying it. It's been sitting in my fridge for a couple weeks now, and it's just time to crack it open. A little bit more about this beer as we get started. Go ahead and show you that can there. That's kind of the coolest part as we get going here. Has an astronaut on there jumping into what I would consider kind of a black hole. Pretty metaphoric, kind of what Alvarado Street's doing here with this triple IPA. A little bit more details on the beer. It's a 10% ABV, 60 IBU, Citra Simcoe Amarillo. This one was canned on 2/5, so we're just about, I'd say like 3.5 weeks in because February is weird and it's kind of short. So can lettering on the bottom says the big TIPA. Again, I'm not sure if this is Alvarado's first triple IPA. I really like what these guys are doing. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides I haven't had a bad beer from them in a really long time, whether it's a Pilsner, their stouts are great, double IPAs are great, the yeast-driven IPAs are great. This one, I'm presumed, is going to be great as well. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The way this is typically going to work is I'll crack the can, I'll give it a little half pour, we'll get some aromas going on, we'll taste it, we'll see how it is, we'll see how the body is on this beer, and hopefully we'll give it a rating at the end. I'd also like to see how it compares to some of the other triple IPAs that I've had recently, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about that too. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. Yeah, aromas are great on this one. So I'll show you guys what it's looking like here, but it's pouring kind of a hazy color, kind of like what I expected. Give that guy a gander. It's actually a really good looking beer. You know, it is hazy. It's got a nice dense head of foam, really small bubbles on there. It's retaining really well. The alcohol is holding onto that glass pretty tight. If I had to describe the color, I would say it's kind of like a dirty orange, ambery color. Again, hazy as all heck, kind of what I expected. Retaining well. That head of foam is kind of going away here pretty quickly. It's kind of settled down to kind of maybe half finger length. So let's give this thing a sniff and see what we're getting. So good news on this beer is this beer doesn't smell boozy at all. That's kind of the biggest complaint from people when they have triple IPAs. Oh, it smells too boozy. Oh, it smells too sweet. Oh, boo hoo hoo. This one doesn't. I mean, it smells a little sweet, which is expected, but it doesn't smell boozy. Really tropical tropical notes, citrus notes. Kind of smells, I've used the word fruit salad before. It smells kind of fruit salady, so I'm getting a lot of kind of that pineapple, tropical passion fruity, fruit salad. Go to your grandma's house, on Thanksgiving, maybe she whips up a nice fruit salad. That's kind of what this smells like. Stick your schnoz in all those berries and all those melons. It's there. This is that beer. I'm really looking forward to giving this thing a try. Let's take a sip, see what we're getting. All right. Body-wise, it's definitely solid medium body. It's kind of what I expected. It's a little chewy. Carbonation's still really bright. It's not overly soft or anything like that. Maybe it's because the can's cold. Still, it's probably only been out for about 10 or 15 minutes. Bubbly, bright carbonation. Sits in the mouth pretty easy. Yeah, pretty straightforward. This, kind of reminds me of just like a hazy double IPA would be. Yeah, so this one is a little boozy on the back end there. I'm feeling that alcohol burn kind of going down my chest right now. Not that that's bad. A little bit of malty sweetness there mid-palate. Not an overly big hoppy bite on this one, but I'm getting a lot of like orangey, citrusy notes. To be honest, the flavor on this one's not super crazy complex for me. Yeah, but it's not a bad beer. There is kind of like this nice sort of melony flavor that hits right around that malty sweetness mid-palate. This thing drinks really easy, but you know, those of you that don't like the boozy beers, this one is hitting me right now. It's just burning me on the way down. Again, I don't mind that. For 10%, that's kind of surprising. I figured it wouldn't be too bad, especially when you see some double IPAs kind of going up in that 10% area sometimes. But overall, not a bad beer. I'm just going to do a quick sniff one more time just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Take a couple more sips. We'll give this thing a rating. We'll see where we end up. Yeah, now it's been sitting in the glass a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more of that sweetness, but it's still nothing crazy. Again, no booze. Yeah, you know, I think I hit it right on the head. I'm getting a pretty basic citrus flavor up front, kind of that citrusy grapefruit bitterness. It's not overly bitter, which is always pleasant. I'm glad it's not overly bitter. Nice malty sweetness mid-palate. I want to just emphasize it's not an overwhelmingly sweet beer at all. I would definitely classify this as something that's more similar to like a double IPA would be. Nothing, you know, over the top like malt bomb like some people would describe. I might have let this can sit for another couple weeks and then we might have a malt bomb. So I'm glad I'm drinking this right now. Again, a little bit of boozy burn going down. But it finishes, it's not overly thick on the finish. Like now that I'm sitting here kind of digesting this down, it's pretty dry, pretty crisp, surprising. So if I had to rate this beer, the first thing that came to my mind as I was drinking this thing, I'm going to go for a 4 out of 5. That might be surprising to some people. I know this beer is rated pretty high in some people's books, but you know, I'm spoiled. Living in San Diego with Pure Project, they are just killing the triple IPA game, and I don't think this is quite as good as something that Pure is doing. So, but still good, still a good effort. Still drinks pretty good for a triple. So, yeah, I think that's it. There's this pretty straightforward review tonight. So, again, this is One Giant Leap. Show you that can art one more time. Pretty cool with the astronaut jumping into that hole. I dig this thing. I really dig overall what Alvarado Street's doing. I kind of talked about this at the opening of this video. They're just killing it. I mean, anything that they release, anything that I can get down here in San Diego, I will pick up just because they're doing a great job. I love interacting with those guys on Instagram. Hopefully they find benefit in this video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd love to know if you've had this beer, if you've had anything from Alvarado Street recently, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to communicate with you guys, interact with you, just kind of talk some beer talk about Alvarado Street and any other beers that you guys think might compare to this one. So you also see a subscribe button pop up down here. If you like this video, if you like beer reviews, beer unboxings, beer banter, whatever it might be, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to this channel. We're trying to add content about once or twice every week. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to keep adding more. So I really appreciate you watching this video. Hope everybody has a good one. Cheers.